Hi, I'm Chris Moraz with Your IT, and this is our remote working, work from home, Ask Me Anything that we did on March 19th. This recording is going to answer a lot of your questions about key considerations. How do we work from home? What's the process? What do we need to do? If you need any help, you can visit our website at youritok.com. Give us a call at 405-367-9090, or you can drop me an email at hello@youritok.com. I hope you find this helpful. Good afternoon, everyone, and I am so glad you have joined us today for our remote working Ask Me Anything. We are here to answer your questions and help you as this crazy transition of going from the office and employees possibly working at home and what that all means. So as you can see on the screen, we have started. So if you cannot hear any audio, please raise your hand on the left of your screen. You'll see the little control panel there. There should be a button that says raise your hand. So if you can't hear us, hit that button so we can know that we have problems. We'll give everyone just a moment to make sure we're good there. So see anything, so we'll just we'll press on. Now, what we're going to do, the way we're going to do this today is going to address a few of the issues that we are seeing out there right now amongst our clients. Discuss a couple of those key problems or key considerations that we're having conversations with. And then, of course, when we get to the end, the whole point is to answer your questions. So to the left of your screen, again, you'll see the Q&A button. You can, if you want, start putting your questions in there now. We'll collect those as we go. Some of your questions may get answered in this first part, and if not, then we'll answer them when we get to the end. Sound fair? Perfect. All right. Well, let's just go ahead and dive in here. Want to make sure we good use of your time. So one of the biggest things that we're getting asked is in terms of the actual technical connection of how employees will work is what's the difference between a VPN connection and remote access or remote desktop software. These are both methods that allow people to connect back to the office to get that information, but they work in completely different ways. So a VPN or a virtual private network, that's going to connect your computer at home to the office network, and it's going to treat it as if you were physically at that location connected to that network. So you think about your computer at the house or maybe a laptop, think about the programs on that computer, probably going to be different than what you have at the office. So with that VPN, you may not have the exact same programs, but you'd be able to access that data that's on those company shares, those company networks, that type of stuff. So a VPN gets you back to the office as if you're sitting there with that computer connected to it and accessing those resources. Remote access software or remote desktop software, that actually is installed on your computer at the office and makes it like you're sitting in front of it. So your desktop, your icons, your shortcuts, your programs, all of that stuff, I mean, you are connected into that machine, controlling that machine as if you were sitting in front of it. So they work differently to accomplish different things, depending on whether it's the security of your office or how it's set up, the speed of deployment. So there are various reasons why, but those are the differences between those two. Any questions on that? Is that clear on that? If not, see if we have any hands pop up, or we can clarify at the end if we need to. Okay, perfect. Another question is, how would the cloud help us? Though I think it might be more appropriate now to say, how would the cloud have helped us if we had already migrated to it? You can imagine it's not impossible, and it's not too late, obviously, to move to the cloud, but it's not something that happens instantaneously or that we can just kind of flip on all the time. So how would the cloud help us? Consideration for the future, or maybe consideration of some things you have that you're not using. The biggest benefit and the reason everyone touts the cloud and talks about it is because cloud services are available regardless of location. If you're at the office, you access those the exact same way you would as if you were sitting at home. So it doesn't matter geographically where you're located. Those services are available to you in the exact same way all the time. They typically don't require a VPN or remote access software. So there's less maintenance of installing software, updating software on each machine. And again, you can move from pretty much any computer, any device, and still have access to those resources or programs or whatever it would be. Some examples of the cloud, obviously the most common are going to be email, whether it's Office 365 or Gmail. But we're seeing, as you probably are, a lot of industry software moving to the cloud. So whereas you may have had your CRM that was hosted on your machine or your server a decade ago, well, that's all moved to the cloud, accessible on your mobile device and different things. So the cloud really makes business continuity a lot easier to do, because you just get a new machine, you plug it on, type in a few things, and you can have access to your stuff. So if you're not already using the cloud extensively, that is a conversation that you need to have with your IT provider either now or whenever this stuff starts to kind of clear up a little bit. What do we do about our phone system? So bad news about phone systems is if you have a traditional landline POTS system, plain old telephone system, you're probably going to be in a bit more difficult situation than some others who have moved to newer systems. So typically with a POTS system, a landline, a PBX, you're very limited in what you can do outside of that physical location, right? Maybe you can forward that to a single line. If you have a more advanced system, maybe each user can forward their extension to their phone, whether it's their home phone or their cell phone. But that's good to get those phones coming into the office redirected, but your sales staff, your admins, you're just going to call from your cell phone, right? So you're going to be calling from your cell phone, your home phone, whether or not you care, that's kind of just your business decision. I'm a big fan of when I have our staff calling, I want them to use our phone system. I want that caller ID to show our business. I don't want one of our clients to have someone's direct cell phone number, whether it's for privacy concerns or just, calling after hours and, adhering to our kind of standards. So a POTS system, you might be a little limited. Obviously, you want to call your provider as soon as you can to talk about getting those numbers forwarded. But from there, you might not be able to do much. Conversely, VoIP is designed for remote working. I mean, that's one of the biggest benefits of VoIP. Sure, there's some cost issues, some features that come into play, but it's really designed for that dispersed employment setup. VoIP goes over the internet. It doesn't use the traditional landlines. VoIP strictly uses the internet for its service. So whether it's just your cell phone, whether it's a desk phone, whether it's a soft phone, which is an app installed on your PC, where you are, how you're connected to the internet, it doesn't matter. Calls are going to come wherever you are. Outbound calls, if I launch the phone app on my smartphone, well, that's going to come from my work number. Caller ID is going to show there. Call recording features, call transfer features, putting on hold. So you have all that stuff you normally have in your phone system in the office, but now you have that with your staff in this 10, 20, 50-mile radius globally, if you have a large staff that's dispersed that far, but it doesn't matter where in the world you are, those phone system is going to work exactly the same as if you were in the office. Probably too much information on VoIP, but that's a key part for people to know what benefits they could have, not only in this situation, but just going forward. How will you communicate and collaborate with staff? You're not going to be just ducking your head into someone's cubicle over the next few weeks. So how are you going to talk about that? Do you have a conference bridge that everyone can call into? Do you have collaboration software? Do you guys subscribe to Office 365? Do you subscribe to G Suite? Do you subscribe to Zoho One? All of these services come with amazing collaboration software. Microsoft Teams or Slack or Zoho, they all have these fantastic chat tools and video tools and ways that you can still physically see people and talk to people, whether it's one-on-one or in a group setting for your entire company. So collaboration software is something you strongly need to look into, especially if this whole situation goes into a prolonged state and we're not just talking about a week or two, but longer than that. It can get lonely to work from home, especially if it's something that you're new to. So this is a key way to keep people engaged and keep spirits up as well. And then, of course, Zoom. That's another very popular video chat tool that's out there. And Skype. I completely left Skype off this list. That's like the big granddad that's been around forever. So Skype is another one, though it's kind of been replaced by Teams. But anyway, so there's some ways you can do that. What computers will they use? So this is kind of that employee decision, business case that you have to decide upon. Is this going to be a corporate-owned device that you're going to send home? Do you have laptops? Do you need to buy laptops? Hopefully you don't, because they're incredibly hard to find right now, as you can imagine. But are you going to send corporate-owned devices home with your staff? Or are you going to go the BYOD method, bring your own device, where you have them using their home PCs, their own laptops, their own machines to do their work? Well, if you do that, some things to consider, right? Are those machines still running Windows 7? Windows 7 went end of life in January, but there's a lot of, especially home computers, that are still running Windows 7 because people just don't care to upgrade. They don't see the need to. So are you going to let someone using a Windows 7 machine connect back to your business resources? Okay, so if they have Windows 7, what are you going to do about that? Do they have antivirus? Is it good antivirus? Is it actually working? Is it up to date? Do they have an infection and they're ignoring the pop-ups? What are you going to do about that? And then how are those devices managed, monitored, secured? Are you going to try to put your tools on there? What are the costs to put your tools on there? Is that something your IT company can manage or is willing to manage? Are your employees going to let you put your stuff on their home computer? Do they have kids? Are the kids using that machine? How do they have the kids' stuff separate from their own personal stuff? So there's quite a few considerations there. We do kind of have a checklist that we've put together for employers that kind of helps you think through that a little bit and has some suggestions. We also have a separate sheet with some tips for people who are just starting to work from home. How do you set up your desk area? What do you do if you have kids? So we've got some tips that we put together. We'll send that out to everyone that's on this call, and make sure that you do get a copy of that. So those are a few things to consider, though, on how to use it. So those are some of the big things that we're seeing, some of the giant pressing issues that we have out there. But the big thing is to answer your questions. We want to make sure that we're not only addressing some of those common things, but also anything specific to you. So we'll pause a moment, give you a little time in the left-hand side. I don't know where that points. The left-hand side there in the Q&A section, go ahead and hit that button and type in any questions if you do. And we'll have Sabrina hop on and join us now and let us know what kind of questions we got.
So the first question we have is, what VPN do you recommend?
What VPN do we recommend? So we don't really have a specific one that we can recommend because the VPN tool is typically going to be either recommended or provided from the network vendor. So whoever you have for your firewall, for your router, they're typically going to have something that they've either created or that they have something they recommend to do that. So you'll want to check with either your IT provider or the firewall vendor to see what they have for you there. Also, I should point out there's two different types of VPN. As you get on there, if you start searching or trying to uncover this, there's two main types of VPN you're going to come across. You're going to come across the VPN software that we're talking about that connects you back to your corporate office, but you're also going to come across VPN designed for privacy. So like, what is it? NordVPN or something is a common one that advertises out there. You don't want that. So that type of VPN, that privacy VPN, is designed if you're at a coffee shop or if you're traveling or if you just want to, if you're privacy conscious and want to keep your traffic secure, you would use one of those. You don't want that. You want the VPN to connect you back to corporate office that's going to tie into your firewall. So just an important thing as you're searching on that.
Okay. Next question we have is, what remote access software is good?
There's so many out there. We use Splashtop. It integrates with our systems and our client stuff really well. So we use Splashtop. They're providing some, I don't know if it's extended trials or just free time, but they're providing some stuff right now with everything going on. But there's so many reputable ones out there. LogMeIn, GoToMyPC, TeamViewer is another one. So the biggest thing you want to remember is whichever product you use, turn on two-factor authentication. There was a situation a year or two ago where people thought TeamViewer got hacked because there were people taking over computers, remoting into computers. And it turns out people were just using really old, insecure passwords that had been leaked on the internet and didn't have two-factor on. So turn on two-factor, make sure that you use a unique password, all the stuff that you always hear us say and you always ignore. Go ahead and do all those best practices so that you don't have people connected back to your office computer. So two-factor authentication, that's the biggest one, regardless of what remote access software you use.
All right, and then we had somebody who asked, can you tell us a little bit more about the VoIP, the VoIP?
Yeah, I can. I think I may have gone a little too deep earlier. I want to make this all about VoIP, but VoIP is a tremendous way for you to stay connected regardless of where you are. So if you're concerned about salespeople using their personal cell phone and having your clients call your salesperson instead of calling the company, that's one concern. You always want people calling in, the company number or a direct extension owned by the company so that you can just kind of control those relationships a little better, in my opinion. VoIP also usually comes with advanced features like like a call recording or conference calling. Some more advanced, like you'd normally see in a large enterprise organization. You can get some of those nicer features. Or maybe you just travel a lot. Maybe you're just a person that enjoys traveling. Maybe your job requires you to travel. And this is a way to, again, remain connected into the office without using your cell phone number. You have the app installed on your phone. and it behaves as if you're in the office. So transferring calls, monitoring, availability, that type of stuff gives you some good stuff. So again, if that's something you're interested in, you can reach out separately to have a conversation on that.
And does my company have to install their software on my personal computer?
They're going to have to install something, right? Like there's no way around something getting put on there, whether they're installing the VPN or whether they're installing the remote access software. If you and your company have decided to go the route of bring your own device, and people are using their home computers, then yeah, they're going to have to put something on there. Now, how you handle that is going to be something you decide. You know, if you have an employee who won't allow that, how do you handle that? And then as far as installing kind of the full suite, I don't think that's necessarily best. And when I say that, I mean all the security tools and all the management tools. You know, there's a reason that work computers behave differently than home computers. And a lot of that has to do with, you know, at home you can customize whatever you want. You can change settings and you can do all this and that. So it's probably not going to be the full stack of stuff, but if you are using your home computer to connect back to the office, they will likely have some recommendations and at least one or two pieces of software that they have to install on it. Okay. What else?
And I think you kind of touched on this already, but we had somebody ask, do you have any tips for people working from home?
Yes. Yeah. So like I mentioned, we kind of put together, our team works mostly remotely anyway. A significant part of our peers and vendors work remotely. So, you know, for us, doing this is nothing new. You know, we're designed and set up to do this because if we go to a conference or because if we have someone get sick, you know, we're just a small company. So we have to think through what happens if someone has to stay home. So we've put together some of our best tips. Again, we have one set of tips for the employer, considerations to think through. And then we have another one for the employees. For example, one of the biggest things you're going to want to do is, oh man, I touched my face. I'm not supposed to do that. So you're going to want to find a dedicated place in your house for your office. So whether that's the dining room table, whether that's a card table, maybe it's just a TV tray pushed up against the wall. And then you're going to want to go through a normal routine. So you're going to want to wake up, you're going to want to shower, you're going to want to get dressed for work, and then you're going to want to go to work in your designated area. Don't try to work in bed. You're not going to get anything done. Get out of bed and go to work, even if it's just down the hall. So some tips like that, as well as, well, what do you do if you have kids? How do you manage that? So if that's something that you want, we'll send that out to everyone that's registered on this right now. And then if you're watching this recording after the fact and you'd like a copy of those, just drop us an email to hello@youritok.com. hello@youritok.com. Just send us an email, ask for the work from home tips, and we'll get those sent out to you. We got anything else?
Not at the moment.
All right. Well, we will pause here for just a moment. We'll awkwardly stare here at the screen to see if we have any more questions on the Q&A. And if not, then we'll just let you get back to work here. So I don't see anything else. I want to appreciate everyone for joining us. Again, this recording will be uploaded in the next day, and we'll share that to social media. If you know anyone you think that might benefit from this, please, we ask that you just share with them. And again, if you have any questions, just reach out to us and let us know. Our number, if you don't have that, is 405-367-9090, 405-367-9090. Again, I'm Chris Moraz with Your IT. Thank you for joining us. Hope you have a great day.